Okay. Hi, Kelly. So we're
Hi.
recording.
Okay.
All right. So the purpose of this video, for those of you that are going to watch the recording of this, is number one, not to make fun of my eyebrows. That's number one. Number two is to show Kelly in the Coach Online office how to advance place coaches in her husband's weak leg so that she can start generating more team cycle bonuses in Nick's account to help their overall family income. So everybody knows Kelly still has goals of achieving 5-star diamond plus 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 this year. And this strategy doesn't take away from those goals. Just because she's going to be placing in Nick's weak leg doesn't mean that she's abandoning any goals that she set for her business this year. It's just about learning how to strategize the placement of her coaches so they benefit the overall income generated for her family. So I hope everybody gets that. It's this doesn't necessarily mean you're placing in a spouse account, which she knows she has to at some point to get him back to diamond, because right now he is an emerald coach. But the purpose of advanced placement, which is something that I learned a few years into my business. So if you're sitting and watching this and saying, man, I wish I would have known this earlier, everybody goes through the same process. We all wish we would have known just a little bit earlier, but it's okay, because today we start changing our strategies and we start using the compensation plan to work better for us. And it's these very, very simple things that you can do as you sponsor coaches into your business that are going to help you. And before I get into Nick's account and then into Kelly's account, let me just say this. This doesn't work unless you're recruiting. And I was really honest about that to a group of coaches that I had here at the house earlier this week. Advanced placement really, and generating that income in a secondary account, whether it's a spouse account or a secondary business center, to work better for you overall, only works if you're consistently recruiting and bringing in coaches into your business, whether they're business building coaches or even discount coaches. It doesn't matter. That activity is critical, absolutely critical to advancing your income in all these centers. Kelly does that. Kelly is one of our strongest recruiters on the team. And so this strategy will absolutely, by the end of this year, would, I think, in my opinion, probably propel Nick's account past that 250 a week emerald cap and beyond, because hopefully by the end of the year, he is a strong diamond and moving up. So I'm going to go into Kelly's accounts. How I do this personally. Wait, let me just ask Kelly, do you have any questions? You're good. Okay. All right. The first thing I do when I'm going to advance place a coach is I'm going to, number one, first, just think about it. When I sponsor this coach, where in my downline would this coach benefit me more than one time, right? Because when we started sponsoring coaches early in our businesses, we were taught left, right, or, strategies like that, and stay on the outside. While that's a good strategy at the beginning, when you start doing this and when you start kind of getting more and more into the business and the compensation plan, I want everybody to ask themselves, where can I place this coach where I like to call it double dipping into the compensation plan? Or once you have that second, third, fourth business center, you're triple, quadruple dipping into the compensation plan. But for Kelly's purposes, we're talking about double dipping. And what does that mean? That I'm going to place this coach in a position in her downline that's not only going to pay her in her first business center, but also pay her in Nick's business center, right? So you're going to be generating volume for Nick's account and generating volume for Kelly's first business center. So what I do is I first go into the spouse account. So I'm going to go into Nick's account and I'm going to share screen because I've already logged into that one. Okay, so I'm in Nick's account, right? Right now he is an Emerald coach. The first thing I do is figure out which one is Nick's weak leg. So I'm going to go into monitor my business, and I'm going to click on team volume under compensation. So when I take a look at Nick's account and volume-wise, I notice that his left leg consistently has a lot more volume than his right leg. So his right leg is his weak side, right? So I'm going to place this coach. Now, I'm not going to place it yet, because remember, I'm going to place it once I get into Kelly's account, but I'm just trying to figure out where this coach is going to go. So it's going to go on Nick's right side, which is his weak leg. So in Nick's account, I'm going to figure out that spot. So I'm going to go into his sponsorship drill down. I'm going to look at his right side. So here are his right leg coaches: Andrea, Sarah, Lisa, Tracy, Gina, all the way down to Tiffany. Tiffany Daughtry is the last sponsored coach on Nick's weak or right side. Okay, so I'm going to write down her coach ID, 1756404. So now I know when I go into Kelly's account who I'm looking for in order to place this next coach that Kelly's going to sponsor. So now I'm done here. I sign out, and I'm going to sign in as Kelly. So I'm going to stop share 1 second. If only I can get into my cell phone. There we go. All right, let me just sign in as Kelly real quick. Gmail.com. Okay. All right, so now I am in Kelly's account. So I'm going to do a screen share. And here I am. Now I'm in Kelly's account. So now I know that my next coach that I'm going to sponsor in Kelly's account, she's going to be a first business center coach. I am in Kelly's first business center, is going to go on the outside leg of 1756404, which is the coach on Nick's weak leg. So I'm going to go into monitor my business. I'm going to go to graphical genealogy. I'm going to come up here where it says search for coach name. You don't need the name. You actually can just plug in the coach ID, 6404, and it's going to find Tiffany. So I'm going to click on Tiffany. And right here, I'm going to see, here's Tiffany. There's a coach sponsored here, which I believe is a coach sponsored by Kelly. Is that correct? Okay, so Kelly has already advanced placed this coach here. And this spot right here, I'm going to click. I'm going to save. And now Kelly's next coach is going to go in that spot and is going to double dip in team cycle volume. Wow, I just butchered that. Team cycle bonus. Because now this coach, when she gets signed up, and let's say starts hitting Success Club, starts sponsoring coaches, is going to generate volume for Nick's weak leg, which it desperately needs some volume in order to start cycling. So you're going to start seeing income in Nick's account. Slowly but surely, it's going to start growing. And at the same time, it's generating volume for Kelly's first business center and not sacrificing her rank goals, because this coach is still in her first season. Do you have a question?
So I did it right. So
Yes,
LaShawn, okay.
You absolutely did.
Okay.
So that's it. Now that's basically how I place every single coach in my team. I just take a look, where would this coach placement make sense? Where is it going to generate the most volume for, the accounts I want it to generate volume for, and I manually place it. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, but can't you use preferred placement? Can't you just plug in? Here's the deal, you guys. I only trust myself. And I know when I do this manually that that coach is going to be placed in that spot. Now, sometimes the system is quirky and it ends up somewhere else. Just make sure that after a coach signs up, after you do this, you check it. The preferred placement thing where, here, let me just so everybody knows what I'm referring to. Share. This whole, when you come up here, monitor my business, this right here, preferred placement, you know, it's complicated when you're advanced placing. And so the system will automatically stick on the outside legs. It's not smart enough, in my opinion, to figure out exactly where you want this coach placed. And it's going to do whatever it wants. It's going to go on, you know, whatever leg. And it does, to me, this is my experience. I actually did it. I tested it this week and the coach was placed incorrectly. So I trust myself. And so I do it manually. So in all my accounts, right, if I'm sponsoring in my first, second, third, fourth, or in Danny's account, I make sure that every so often I come in to all the accounts and set the placements of where I want for all these accounts before I start sponsoring coaches, just so that it's not a pain in the butt and you have to fill out the form and get them moved, and then the form is tricky. Ugh, it's a pain. So I just make sure I stay on top of placement before a coach signs up.
So I have a question. What if I have, let's say, 2 coaches that I sent out the link to enroll as a coach. What happens once I put them in the same leg in my first CBC? That's where I want them to go. And how does it trickle down? Like if one signs up before the other, are they both going to go on that outside leg?
Yeah, they're just, yeah, it'll recognize that that's where you're placing, and it'll just.
Okay, just because it just depends if Tiffany Doherty is still my last coach, right?
Yeah.
Under Nick on that side. But then when I sign another person up underneath Nick, then it's not going to be Tiffany, it's going to be someone else, right? And then I put him under that person?
Correct. But here's, okay, so now you're talking about sponsoring coaches in Nick's account, right?
Well, I'm just saying, once I get to the point where I need to get Nick back to Diamond before the end of the year, which I'm not doing quite yet, but if let's just say, I'm like, oh, this person's complete discount, I'm going to put him under Nick, so I just need coaches there.
Right.
So I'm not advanced placing, but then I go back to doing another coach about advanced placement, and then it's not Tiffany anymore, it's a different coach. And so now I don't put Tiffany's ID, I put the other coach.
Correct. Because yeah, so every time you're going to sponsor a coach, you want to go through that step of going into Nick's account, figuring out where it is. Why? Because at some point, Kelly, there's going to be way too many people to be able to use that one coach ID, right? Tiffany. Because after you do this for the first time, you sponsor, let's say, 15 coaches in the next 4 months or whatever. Well, now we've got way too many there to use Tiffany, and the system won't let you kind of go down. Remember when we tried that, going down using the arrows, and it's just, there's too many people. So just do the exercise. Go into Nick's account. Figure out who's that last coach in his weak side. Get the number, go into yours, find her, and then set the placement.
Okay, and then maybe we don't need to have this recorded, I don't know. But there's one coach that I thought I did it correctly, and I don't see her now underneath Tiffany. Can we see where she got placed?
Yeah, so what's her name?
Shelby. She's under my first CBC.
Shelby. There, Vineyard?
Yes.
Okay. So she landed, do you recognize Lindy Palmer Rossi?
Yeah, she's another new coach. I mean, you can share it if you want, if that helps people, but I'm just wondering where she,
Let's see.
On it.
You sponsored her in your first CBC?
I believe I did, yeah.
Let me see, let me just check. Genealogy. Yeah, her sponsor coach is your first CBC, right? 647411. Mm-hmm. So let's see. Let's try to keep So what leg is this? Is this your, well, first of all, you know what? Let's just go into your sponsorship drill down to see what leg she's on. Do we see her yet? Right here. So she's on your left. She ended up on your left leg.
Which is yeah, that's where I want her, I believe. But I wanted to also advance placer. I don't think I did that right.
Is Nick on your left leg? Yeah, he is. So you could move her. She probably ended up on the outside, you know, like just here instead of on Nick's weak leg. When did she sign up? Can you still move her?
I think, was it 5 days?
She signed up on 2/9. Yeah, I think she's stuck there. But it's not horrible because she's still on the outside, so it's fine. She's just not advanced placed.
Okay, so she got put on the other leg of Nick's?
Yeah, she got put on Nick's strong leg, it looks like.
Oh, okay. All right, well, at least I did that other coach right.
Yes, the other coach for sure is placed in Nick's weak leg, which is, what's her name? Is it Lindsay? No, not Lindsay.
LaShawn.
LaShawn, yeah. LaShawn, you see where LaShawn is? You would think she's on that outside leg, but she's really, you know, in Nick's weak leg. So.
Okay. So now what if can you advance place with my second CBC?
Yeah, absolutely.
But if I'm signing someone up under my second CBC, I can put them underneath Nick's advanced placement to Nick's leg?
Where is your second CBC?
On the other leg.
No. So your right is your right. Where are you?
Okay, so you can only do it to that leg.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Julia's on.
Where are you? Oh, there you are. Here you are. Here, yeah. No, so your right is your right. Now, what you can do is you can advance place first CBC coaches. So remember, you still have the goal of 5-star plus 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 in your first. So you can do the same strategy with your second business center than you do with Nick. So instead of sponsoring the coach in your second, you sponsor the coach by your first CBC, but place them on your second CBC's weak leg. So now you're generating volume in the second CBC and in your first.
Yeah, okay. But when I'm putting people in my first CBC, when my kids just woke up, does it have to be on that same leg? You know what I'm saying? Like on my first CBC, the same leg as my second CBC.
Uh-huh.
So does it have to, wait, what was my question? Is it only when I'm placing people on that other leg on my first CBC that's the same leg as my second CBC?
Correct.
Because it has to stay the same leg.
Yeah. When you're going to do this with your second CBC, the coach will be on your right leg.
Yeah, okay.
Because that second CBC is on your right leg. Yes. Nick's on the left leg. So when you're sponsoring advanced placing on Nick's side to generate income in Nick's account, that's a left leg coach, right?
Yeah, okay.
If you're sponsoring a coach on the right side, let's say, and I don't know how you're balanced in terms of potential diamonds. I know we talked about this the last time, but if you need right leg coaches, then you're sponsoring on the right. And if you want to advance place them, then you've got your second CBC to do that with.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want me to walk you through second CBC advanced placement? Or do you think you got it?
I think I got it. I think okay. I feel good about it.
Yeah. So I would do the same thing, quickly. I would come into your second, let me do just screen share that. Get up if you have to. I'll do, so right now I'm looking at Kelly's second business center. What I'll do is I'll look to see what's her strong leg, weak leg. So it looks like her left leg potentially is her weak leg in her second business center. So I would search Jessica Toma in the graphical genealogy. I just do a copy, edit, copy. I'm going to go into her graphical genealogy. I'm going to search for Jessica, edit, copy, no, edit, paste, paste it. Let me search for Jessica. There she is. And I would, let me just go up and make sure which one's this, the leg. Okay, so I now I know that this left side is the weak side, and so I would click this position right here to advance place a first. I'm not going to click it because then it's going to move it from where we placed it the last time, but I would click here if I was sponsoring a first CBC coach on the weak leg of my second business center. Make sense? Okay, good. All right, we did it.
Yes, I feel good.
Okay, good.
I'm a visual person, so this helps. And it's simple. You're right. It's not as confusing as...
It's not. Just remember this, and everybody needs to understand this. You can place wherever you want in your downline. And to me, that's like freedom. You're like, oh, what is that? You can, wherever you want. So make the comp plan work for you. Where can you place one coach that's going to help you make double income instead of just one time? So if you have a spouse, you have a second business center, you should absolutely be using this strategy to advance your income faster.
And then I should know this, but if I get a diamond in my second CBC, that doesn't count for elite, right? In my first CBC?
It counts as a new 2019 diamond. You know, you need 2 of those, but it doesn't count for your rank in your first business center.
Okay.
What counts is that your second CBC is a diamond.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right. I know the kids are up, so
Yeah.
Okay, so I hope that was helpful. I'll share this recording, and then whatever. If there's any other questions, we'll jump on.
Perfect.
All righty. Have a great day. Happy Friday. Bye.